Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, class 7. I hope you all are safe and sound at your homes. We have completed the chapter, the 1 million banknote, and now we are proceeding towards a new poem. The name of the poem is Matilda. Take out your book and open page number 156. So, first of all, I'm going to give you the introduction of the poet, then we are proceeding towards a reading and explanation. This amazing poem has been written by Hilary Bullock, who was born in near Paris a few days before the start of the Franco Persian War. He and his sister were taken to England, but on their return, the family found their home had been utterly vandalized by the occupying troops. Beloit was educated in England. His first book was a small volume of verse published in 1896, and from then a flood of books, pamphlets, letters, and more poetry has been done from his pen. His work encompasses French and British history, military strategy, comic, and various verses. Now I'm going to read the poem from page number 156, then I will explain it to you. Matilda told such dreadful lies, it made one gasp and stretch one's eyes. Her aunt, who from her earliest youth had kept a strict regard for truth, attempted a belief Matilda. The effort very nearly killed her, and would have done so had not she discovered this infirmity for once towards the close of day. Matilda, growing tired of play and finding she was left alone, went tiptoe and to the telephone, and summoned the immediate aid of London's noble fire bridge. Within an hour the galleon band were pouring in every hand from Hackney Downs and Bow. With courage high and heart aglow, they galloped roaring through the town. Matilda House is burning down, inspired by British cheers and loud. Proceeding from the furnace crowd, they ran their ladders through a score of windows on the ballroom floor and took pains to source the pictures up and down the house until Matilda's aunt succeeded in showing them they were not needed, and even then she had to pay to get the man to go away. It happened that a few weeks later her aunt was off to the theatre to see that interesting play, The Second Mrs. Tanqueray. She had refused to take her niece to hear this entertaining piece, a deprivation just and wise to punish her for telling lies. The night a fire did break out, you should have heard Matilda's shout. You should have heard her scream and bawl and throw the window up and call. To people passing in the street, they rapidly increasing heat, encouraging her to obtain their confidence. But all in vain. For every time she shouted fire, they only answered little lar, and therefore when her aunt returned, Matilda and the house were burned. Now, students, we are proceeding towards the explanation of that poem. The poem is about a girl who always tells lies. Because of this habit, she lost her life as no one believed her when she was speaking the truth. Matilda, a girl who told such dreadful lies that would hardly take a breath of relax. Her aunt, who was a believer of truth, once she too believed Matilda when she called up for help on telephone. She dialed the number of emergency fire service. When they came up to help her, it was confirmed that there had horrid nothing, due to which her aunt saw some amount as fine to let the firemen to go away. One night her aunt went to theatre and let Matilda alone at home as punishment for telling lies. That very night, fire broke out really, and Matilda cried for help, but no one minded whatever she was saying, as they thought that she was telling lies. Rapidly, heat increased, and Matilda along the house was burned. And when her aunt came back from the theatre, it was too late to do anything. Basically, the poem Matilda story of a girl who keeps lying all the time that lead her to the most disastrous consequences of losing her life. The poet intends to give a message to the reader to refrain from lying, as this would spoil the credibility of the person and could never be trusted again. I hope class 7 you have understood the explanation of the poem, and now it's time for your assignment. And your today's assignment is you have to write down the summary of the poem in 60 to 70 words.